What's up guys, my name is Killer Cloud, and in this video I'm going to break down a mod and try to show you guys that are beginners what a mod is and why it's better than your standard vape pen. So I'm going to show you guys a standard vape pen. You typically have, this is called the Vision Spinner. It's got a standard 510 and then it has a Pro Tank 2 and a drip tip. So I'm going to close up and show you guys exactly what this is. So this is your standard vape pen. Most beginners have this. You got your variable voltage at the bottom. You can spin it so it goes from 3.3 volts all the way up to 4.8 volts. Now when you first get this, you might think, wow, that is something special. That it can go all the way up to 4.8 volts, that's intense. I don't know if I can handle that. There's only a 1900 milliamp battery inside this. That's about it. 1900 milliamp battery. You can't take the battery out. You have a little dinky switch that lights up, and you have your 510 and your Pro Tank. Now your Pro Tank has 32 gauge Canthal, single coil, possibly 8 wraps. I'm assuming it's 8 wraps, 8 to 9 wraps inside. It's a bottom fed coil, so your juice soaks up that silica wick inside, and then once you push the switch, it heats up that coil, heats up the juice inside, and now you can inhale your vapor. Basically, very basic setup, very easy, it's rechargeable, and this would only cost you guys maybe the whole setup. A Vision Spinner I know costs about 30 bucks, Pro Tank costs around 30 bucks, and the drip tip costs about 10 bucks. So you're only looking at maybe under 100 bucks for this setup. Now, for people that don't know about vaping, this may seem like a great setup just to get you off cigarettes, and by all means that's perfect. But for people that want bigger clouds, more vapor density, more vapor productivity, to be able to do tricks like a hookah, then this is not the setup that you want. So I'm going to put this to the side. Now, let's step it up a notch. This is a standard mod. This is your vape mod. This is a vape pen. For all these people calling this a vape pen, this is not a vape pen. This is for advanced vapors, people that know what they're doing and know how to completely take apart this mod, put it back together with their eyes closed, hands tied behind their back. So you have to know your mod, and I'm gonna break it down and show you guys the basics of this mod. So the reason why, I'm gonna show you guys the reasons why this whoops this. So there's a bunch of mods that are out. You don't know which one to buy. You don't know which one's good, which one's not good. You don't know anything if you're using this standard vape pen. And there's a lot to learn. Oh my god, I'm just dropping everything. This doesn't matter, I'm gonna throw it. So I'm gonna break it down for you guys. This right here is your vape mod. What I'm using right now is called the Fuhattan clone of a Manhattan mod. It's a clone, Chinese clone, but this right here nonetheless is your mod. You have a switch, you have your battery tube, and you have your 510 top. I'm going to take off this thing, which I haven't even explained yet, and break it down for you guys. This right here, this funky looking piece, the inside is your drip well. So in case juice happens to drop from this piece, then this little ring inside would catch the juice. I'm going to zoom it up for you guys so you can see. Now the threading inside is what we call a 510 connection. Standard 510, which means that you can take a 510 thread on the bottom of your thing, and you can screw it in. Now most tanks, most RBAs, most RDAs, which I'll go into more depth of what they mean, can fit into a 510 connection. Now inside here is your top pin. Your top pin is positive. It touches the top of the positive side of this battery. Now I'm going to take this apart even more. So here's your switch, which fires your mod. You can unscrew this, and inside you have your pin and sometimes a spring, sometimes a magnet that pushes this up. Inside this tube is your battery. This is called an 18650 battery. There's an 18350, which is tiny, an 18500, which is medium, and an 18650, which is the largest one in the 18 series. There's a 26650, which is a mega-sized battery that basically has more amp limit safety, more battery life, etc. But that's not important right now. Now you have the inside of this tube. Nothing special about the tube, it just encases the battery. Now, I'm going to show you guys the top portion. Which screws onto the top of your mod. Every mod is different, but this one, I'm just going to show you because it's the most basic. You have your center pin with your Delrin insulator. Now, people are asking, why don't you get hit off of the battery every time you push your switch? What's stopping it from hitting? Why aren't you getting shocked? Well, the top pin is only making contact with the positive side of this battery. It's then transferring to the positive of this RDA. Right there. Now, in between the outside and this positive pin is a Delrin insulator. That separates your positive from your negative. Ugh. 1 second. Now this, which is the top portion of your mod, has also a Delrin insulator. That separates the positive and negative, so then you don't get hit. If you touch both positive and negative together, and if ever they touch, you will get hit on your mod. So the only thing making it so you don't get hit is the Delrin insulator. So now I'm going to show you guys what actually fires this thing. There's also an insulator inside, and all you're doing is you're pushing down this switch, which is also insulated inside, and it's pushing up this top pin. It's completing the circuit in your mod. So now I'm going to put this mod back together and go into more detail. Put my battery in and put the switch back on. Okay, that's your mod. Basic, very basic. So now people are asking, that are beginners, what is this? This is an RDA. There's a tank, an RBA, and an RDA. A tank would be something like this, which is, a tank is, let's say, that's not really a tank, it's more of an RBA. I'm trying to think. A clearomizer, a standard clearomizer for a vape pen. I don't have those laying around, but that's a tank. You can't replace the coils, you can't replace the wick. Once it goes bad, you throw it out and get a new one. This, you can take out the coil and then put a fresh coil in, and then this would be considered an RBA, a rebuildable atomizer. Now, this is called an RDA, rebuildable dripping atomizer. So basically, what's the difference between an RBA and an RDA? The difference is rebuildable atomizers aren't always, they're most most of the time they are tanks that constantly re-wick that cotton or silica wick or eco wool with juice non-stop. An RDA, once the juice runs dry from the wick, you have to drip more juice onto those coils and wick to resaturate it. That's why we call it a dripping atomizer. So, an RDA is basic stuff, very basic. It's got a 510 connection at the bottom. I'm going to do a zoom up again. 510. You have your drip shield, which is this piece that encases the RDA, so then you don't get burned, you don't get juice squirting out. It contains everything, so you stay safe. Then you have, which looks pretty crazy right now, but the two on the outside, the two on the very outer rim, are your negatives. They connect to the body of the RDA. The two positives in the inside are your positives, and they connect to the 510 contact at the bottom of the RDA that I just showed you, and then that makes contact on the positive of your battery, which fires the coils, which makes them heat up, like so. Then you have your O-rings, which keep on the drip shield. And then now you have, on this certain one, you have a chuff enough top cap that fits in to this. Not all mods have this. Some of them have drip tips like this that would fit in on the top, or a drip tip like the one on the top that would fit in. So, let me get this in focus again. That's basically what a vape mod is, and I'm going to show you guys the difference between this and this. This has a little dinky switch on it, and you can't take out the battery. Once the battery goes memory, then you just throw it out, buy a new one, that type of thing. It's disposable. The switch has a safety mechanism on it, so when you hit it for more than 6 or 7 seconds, it stops firing. This, I can hold it down as long as I want, for however long of a pull I want, until it might have a dry hit if the coils and the wick gets dry. So pulling is all, it all comes down to how long you want to take the pull. It's your choice with this. Everything is up to you with this. You can customize your coils to match the productivity that you want, the ohms that you want. You really have to understand about volts, watts, amps, ohms. You have to understand about Ohm's law. So how low of an ohm. There's different things that come down to owning a mod, to actually being able to understand how it works, what you do when you fire this switch, and how to get more vapor productivity from this RDA, RBA, etc. So that's the basics on owning a vape mod, and why it comes down to being better than a standard vision spinner vape pen. Also, if I drop this from a 2-story building, I just throw it. This thing's gonna shatter into a million pieces, and I can't fix any of this. It's got a motherboard inside. Can't fix this if my life depended on it. This might survive, hopefully, and if it doesn't, if this cracks, then I have to buy a new one. That type of thing. If I drop this on a 2-story building, yeah, it might, get some scratches on it. It might, maybe bend a little bit on the switch because it's made out of copper. But it all depends on what your mod's made out of. It's made out of titanium, stainless steel, aluminum, copper, brass, anything. If I drop this off a 2-story building, then I can basically go down. This might come off, but I can put it back together, and for the most part I can have this working again within maybe a minute. I can put it back together and everything works, and it will fire. So just I wouldn't recommend throwing off this thing off a 2-story building, but I'm just trying to show you guys an example of how far you're willing to go to save your mod. If you guys like blowing money nonstop, if this breaks, if you drop it, if it cracks, if this shatters, super easy to shatter, by the way. This is a little better when dropping something. If you drop it maybe out of your pocket, you can just pick it right back up and start vaping. So that's basically, I'm trying to show you guys what's better, you know. For people that want to have cloud chasing, they want to, you know, by cloud chasing I mean blowing huge clouds. If you want to do vape tricks, all that good stuff, I recommend a vape mod, which you can customize to your needs, so then you can do this type of stuff. Some people like to do that. Some people don't find it necessary when you're getting off of cigarettes. This is all a hobby. So there's different things that come down to owning a vape mod. You do have to understand how to use it. If you choose to rebuild, you have to understand about coils, all that stuff I talked about before. You might burn yourself a few times, you know, so these coils do get hot, so I recommend not touching them when they get hot. So all common sense, but for some people, they don't know, and I completely understand that, because I had to learn all this by myself when I first started. So if you want to be able to do this, then you have to buy an RDA, and you can't just throw an RDA on top of a vape pen. The battery does not support the push on this RDA. For different coils that you make, you need better battery life, consistent voltage output, and you need the right amps to support your build. This is a dinky battery, and if I were to throw this on this and try to fire it, the battery would die in less than a minute, and that's not fun. So to be able to take out your batteries, charge them, put them back in, that makes for a whole world of easier things when it comes down to owning a vape mod. So hopefully this helped you out understand the difference between a vape pen and a vape mod, and I hope it helped you guys out, because when owning a vape mod, it really comes down to knowing, having knowledge, understanding how this works, so you can be able to fix it, you can enjoy it, the vape will be better. Also, another note before I end this video, you can taste your flavor 100% more on coils that you've made or another person has made. If you go to a vape shop, ask them to make coils for you. You can taste your flavor, the nicotine hit is a lot stronger. So if you start vaping 32 nic on this, and that's enjoyable to you, that's your preference, then, and you can take it, that's fine. But if you take your 32 nic and you start dripping it on this, you're gonna cough your lungs out. Intense. You're gonna get a faster nicotine hit off of this, because it heats up at a quicker rate. So this, you really have to downstage your nicotine. So let's say when I first started vaping, I started at 18 nic. 18 nic was great for me on this. This, I tried throwing 18 nic on, could not do it. I had to step down to 10 nic or 6 nic, which I'm at right now, and that works perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys have any questions, please ask them. I will answer them, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.